Welcome to this Art 101. So here we are going to do some of the practices that I usually have taught you from the last few weeks. Now we're just gonna start with a triangular shape of the cup. If you remember how it looked like a while ago, it was triangular. And now we'll just have to make first the outline. Remember when I talked about the lines, the contour, and line quality, and also the cross contour lines, how this all affects a drawing. And I also taught you the shapes, how to distinguish the shapes. And this is exactly what I am trying to do in this cup. So as you can see, I try to create those image of the mouth of the cup and then the coffee inside the cup. And now we're gonna thicken up the lines so that we will have the quality line. It shows the ideals of what we are drawing, and it creates the real form of the cup. And now this is ready, so we're just gonna go to the next. So now we have divided this into three parts. As you can see, the cup is divided into three lines so that we can create the right proportions of the cup hand, or this shape on the side. It's oval, and the size is like the shape is like the ear shape. And then we're gonna draw the shadings. Now the two lines that you see that divides the cup are the ones that distinguish where we're gonna put the correct proportion of the cup, because if we draw it without those lines, maybe we can draw the cup too small, maybe too large, and the size will not be so realistic when we look at it. And as you can see, I also draw the line of the shadows. There are white shadows and there are dark ones. There is from the light. Remember when I told you about the line quality, that there are thickness and thinness of a line. So here you can see that I am trying to make a way on how to create the highlights. They are the white reflection from the window, because when I did this drawing, the cup is actually taken in front of a window. So now we're just gonna have to shade it all over. We're gonna do the line all the way through the cup. So it's a straight line covering the whole cup. And that's what we call hatching. So we're gonna cover even the the hand, or where the cup holder. I think that's the right word, the cup holder. Actually, when you draw, it creates some kind of peace inside of you, and you think a little better, and it helps you to become a little bit more logic in some ways. Now we're just gonna have to refine the shadows on the side of the cup. As you can see, I have already shaded it just by hatching. Now there's a little bit more pressure on the pencil. If you could see from the side of the cup, it's a little bit more darker shading. And this time, I just have to hold the pencil a little bit more lightly so that I could create those illusion shading. And we're just gonna have to go around the mouth of the cup. And then let's dig into the coffee and make it very, very, very dark. So my way of shading is cross hatching. So as you can see, I am just using one pencil all the way. You actually don't need to have a lot of pencil. You just need one. And the technique is easy if you just follow me. Now we're gonna go through the shades or the shadow of the cup holder, and we're gonna make it darker. So the way to do that is to do the hatching once again, just one line. And depending on your technique, you could actually do this quite fast. So I have to go through the lines where the light is coming from, and I have to imagine where the shadow is hiding. So according to the picture, the light must be coming from the right side of the cup. So then in the cup holder, there can be a little bit of shadow on the top of that. And then a little bit of thickness to refine the cup holder. Now we're gonna go to the second layer of the shadow. But first, we'll just have to make the coffee more darker to distinguish in the picture that the coffee is darker than the shadow. Just to say to the viewers or to our eyes that, hey, there's a coffee in this cup. And let's get around a little bit in the cup holder and refine the shadows, the highlights, and just do the shading once again. Now as you can see, it starts to create a picture of what we want or how we want it to look like. And here on the right corner is the image that I took with my phone. I took it like a few days ago. I pictured my cup while I was drinking coffee. And now we're just gonna have to create the highlights. So that stuff that you saw me holding is a clay, and it's just not some clay, it's an eraser clay. And you will probably need that to create those highlights. But if you don't need that, you can actually use an ordinary eraser and you can shape them a little bit pointed on some parts. So now as you can see, I am creating here some cross hatching on the both sides just to create those kinds of shadow illusion. So now the picture that I am starting to portray is starting to be seen clearly. When you start to draw, just remember that it will not be as exactly as what you want it to be, but it is more about the way you practice. So if you practice, you will make it better. The more you practice, the more you develop your skills. Now you can see that I am holding the clay eraser and I made a pointed part just to go through the lines where I wanted to create a highlight. The highlights are the reflections of the lights. Remember when I told you also about the shapes and how the light can create the shapes, how also to distinguish the objects around you, whether it is organic or is it not a man-made.